Luke, can you give us a little bit of an overview about what we actually truly mean about hospitality mindset in traffic?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, we actually sort of developed this in relation to auto. So we were sort of considering, what would it mean? In aviation, of course, you've got a human-to-human interaction more generally, but what would it mean if you considered the vehicle and the brand as your host? So it's about considering that sort of deeper personality of the brand, and I suppose delivering interactions and expressing that brand as cleanly as possible. So we sort of talk about that as signatures. What's the emotional signature of that brand? And if you were to take the mark off it, would you know where you are? Which is kind of interesting to us. And I think really what it's trying to do is to say that we're trying to build moments that are more synonymous with that particular brand, that particular culture. And I think just touching on John was saying, I think the electrification is interesting because, yet again, and this is my personal opinion, it puts certain aspects of the vehicle into parity. So it kind of means you've got to work harder at what's happening inside the vehicle. So the addition to that, I think, which is intriguing, is, these vehicles are kind of singular, right? They're kind of singular experiences. You're moving through space and time, it's just fundamentally different. So in this kind of hermetically sealed environment, you've got the option to deliver great amounts of control. It's very rare, actually. It doesn't really happen in many other realms. So I think this idea of vehicle as host, and it was specific to auto at that time, but vehicle and brand as host, when you don't have someone in there, representing the brand, how does that whole thing come together to deliver that, basically? And I also think there's something around this notion, which we can get into in terms of sort of trends, this notion of, again, John sort of touched on it, but how do you enliven all the senses? You have the capability of a very tactile, multi-sensorial experiences, scent, sonics, illumination, all this good stuff. So choreographing that, I talk about it as a sort of almost like a piece of music. Journey has highs and lows and crescendos and all that good stuff. So if you're able to wield those tools in really elegant ways, you can suddenly start to spark something memorable and something that's, fundamentally synonymous with the brand that you happen to be with,